Hi, thank you for joining us for this week's episode of Storytime with One Big Hoax, the title of which is Boomer X. All right, let's do this. My mother and I couldn't be more different from one another. We are both baby boomers. Interestingly, at least to me, she was born in 1946 on one end, and I was born in 1964 at the other. Yes, do the math if you must. When she was growing up, her family had a garden and an outhouse. They had chickens and pigs and cows. My grandma crocked sauerkraut on her back porch and made the best homemade noodles in a dusting of flour on her kitchen table. My grandfather beat his kids and his wife. He drank way too much. My grandma was the sweetest woman in the world. The Great Depression had only been over for about 7 years when my mom was born. The previous generation, which began in 1928 and ended in 1945, the year before she was born, was called the Silent Generation. As for my mom, in addition to being a post Great Depression child, she was a post World War II child. As for me, my mom didn't like me. I was an unplanned pregnancy of an underage girl. Fortunately, a man who was not my biological father loved her. More importantly, he loved me. He adopted me. I was not beaten. My mother was not beaten. We had no chickens or pigs or cows. We had indoor plumbing. No one crocked or canned anything, but my mom was a good cook. She still is. I like her cooking, despite it being fattening as fine. I love her cooking. It is good old hillbilly country cooking. If you know, you know. As to baking, yeah, she could do that too. Give me a no-bake cookie any day. Yes, I know, fattening. In some instances, you have to just not care about such nonsense. I thought she was cruel, but only to me. Not to my little brother, though, or to anyone else for that matter. He was her baby, and he could do no wrong. He still can't, but does. I guess he's better now, or isn't. I don't know. She still refers to him as that boy this and that boy that. When I remind her that he's a man, she seems to get annoyed. You know what I mean, she says. I do, says I. JFK was assassinated about a year before I was born. The Vietnam War was in full swing. It went on from 1955 to 1975. I was born right in the middle of that shit. There was such a change happening in the world then, though, and I got to be plunked right in the middle of it. The media was changing. We got to see things for what they really were. We saw that war was not, is not, and will never be glamorous. People were becoming distrustful of the government. They were less gullible. Anti war protests were breaking out all around. Counterculture was blossoming. Heck, it was blooming. Everything, including traditional values, was being questioned. Civil rights mattered to even more people who were standing up while tensions were boiling over. Yet they continued to move for integration and equal rights. We began to realize just how unjust the law was and how uncivilized it could be. We began to identify PTSD as people returned from the war and people at home were suffering as they struggled to set a course for a new, better reality. It wasn't easy. They say nothing worthwhile is. It was a time of progress, though, admittedly, some things stayed the same. During both of our lives, my mother and I saw wives get the crap beaten out of them. I would say women, but wives had no rights back then. They were property. They were wives. If the police were called out for domestic violence, it was brushed off as a disturbance of the peace. Wives would be battered, unrecognizable, and hospitalized, and still the husbands would walk free. The difference? My mother was taught to believe that the mouthy bitch should have kept her mouth shut. But me? Well, I knew deep down that it wasn't okay, and I threw my frail little body between an abuser and an abused more than once. I am not like her. I am Boomer X.